Hi there, I'm Becky Amble, and I want to share with you some tips on how to write an article using AI, because a couple of things we want to do is use our words, our language, and be our voice. Now you can build a custom GPT, and that's one way to do this, so you've got it set up for anything that you're doing in the future. However, I'm going to show you what I did, which is a little bit different because part of it was I was working on this. I don't know if it was 2 a.m. or 4 a.m. Sometimes I get that idea in the middle of the night and I don't want to forget it. So I was doing that. First thing I would do is think about what your idea is. And if you are not in the middle of the night, maybe you want to make some notes of your 3 key points. If you don't need to do that, fine. What I would do is I would open up your ChatGPT, Claude, whatever AI that you are using, and start dictating. Use the dictation prompt. There's usually a little microphone or something like that to dictate through. And think about this as just dictating like we used to do in a dictaphone and having somebody else put it together and write it, take it off the tape in the old days. So here's what I did. Here is my dictation. You can see it just all rambled together, no spaces, no nothing. And this was the article that I did on remembering that we need to have a human connection even when we're using artificial intelligence. So I was writing this article about that and then telling a story about connecting with someone that I went to high school with, actually was 2 years older than me, so I'm not sure I ever even met the guy, and how we got reconnected. So do your stream of consciousness. Just ramble on. Do a brainstorm, do a mind dump, whatever you want to call it, just get it out there. And then what I did was I said, okay, organize this. Now, if I was using a human assistant or redoing it myself, that's what I would be doing, would be step 2, reorganizing my content. Well, when you're using AI, you know one of the steps in prompting is to iterate. And if you don't know, that is one of the steps for getting a good prompt. So when I was doing this, I got my first output and I thought, yeah, that looks pretty good. It put some headings in and made it look good and all that. Well, I said to it, could you get me a punchier title? Because I'm not a copywriter. I'm not a promo person. So coming up with something that's got a little more zazz and zip to it, it's not my bailiwick. So I said, help me out with that, because that's what I would need another person to help me with. So it came up with a couple titles. I thought, maybe not. Maybe I can combine a couple. Then I thought, all right, the key thing is people want problem solved when they're working with us. So I want that woven in to my article. So I went back and had AI put that in. Then I thought, you know what? It's really about balancing, using technology, AI in this case, and our human balance of making that human connection and still being the person involved in this. So I said, I want to use the B word, kind of weave that in. So then it went through that iteration. Well, then I said, I still need to work on the headline. Give me some more ideas. It gave me more options on that. And then I have this theory, because it is scientifically based, to be careful of using negative words or phrasing things in a negative way, because the brain doesn't recognize the negative. So I then, as my last iteration, said, you know what, take the but, B-U-T, out of this sentence. And then it came back and said, well, do you want me to do that on all these cases? Do you want me to do whatever? And I said, reframe things into a positive sentence instead of a negative one. And I don't know about you, but there are times when I might be writing and I try not to use the word but if I do, then sometimes I'm stuck thinking, how do I reword this? And that's where AI can give you some options and be helpful. The whole point of this is use your content, use your brain, just dictate, get everything out, ramble on if you need to, whatever it is, get your information out, and then have AI reorganize, tweak it, be your editor, whatever it might be, and then go back if you say, boy, I forgot a couple things, weave this in, or do this edit. Use it in that way and make sure it is your voice, and work in that fashion and keep iterating, tweaking. Now you might say, well, that sounds like a lot of work, but with AI, there's my butt word. When using AI, you can get these things done in the matter of, if not seconds, at least minutes. So that's what I have for you. Let me know how that works, and if that helps you get going on some of your content a little better and some of your writing, blogs, articles, whatever you might be doing. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time.